Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we conduct polls here on our community tab from time to time, probably once every couple of months or so. And we've been doing it ever since the beginning of 2021 for the 2024 presidential nomination for the Republican side. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Donald Trump? Is it going to be DeSantis? Is it going to be one of these other people? And I've noticed a trend here because some people will say these don't count because they're snap polls. And I'm not saying that they necessarily are indicative of the actual electorate. Either way, besides the point, it doesn't matter. The same people are voting on these polls because they see them on my community tab. They're the same subscribers and they tell a trend. And usually after 500 people vote on it, or 5,000 or 15,000, the results have been pretty much about the same. And what they show is that Donald Trump was in trouble earlier in the year, even among my own core audience. I've never really wavered. I've always preferred Donald Trump to Ron DeSantis for the Republican nomination. But even then, he had an 11-point lead. May rolls around, and this is after Donald Trump has been under fire. He's been under criminal investigation. He's been indicted. They charged him with a BS assault claim in New York in the similar jurisdiction there, and he's getting hit from all cylinders, but it doesn't matter. His support grows stronger. He's spent a lot of time attacking Ron DeSantis. Are those attacks landing? Apparently, it seems as if some of them are, because Donald Trump's support went up from 53% to 76% in this poll. And yeah, it changed. It might be like 74, 75 right now, but that's beside the point. You see him increasing his support by 23% in just this channel audience. DeSantis has dipped from 42 down to 18. So that is a net gain from Trump from a plus 11 to a plus 58 in just a few months. And this is after he was supposed to falter. You have the midterms. You have all these things happen to him that are supposed to be negative, but it doesn't matter. Apparently, it's looking up for him, and everything is tending to bounce off. And he went out there, and he did that town hall on CNN last week. He walked into the lion's den. You have somebody who is, about to be 77 years old, walking directly into the most hostile media network to you for years and years on end. You don't go on their network. You haven't been making a lot of public appearances, especially in front of media, and you go out there, and this was set up to be a trap for Trump. That's why they spent so much time talking about issues that don't matter to a lot of people, and they try to trap Trump on them. It doesn't really work. He has very good answers to pretty much everything, and he did very well. And instead of them trapping him, he trapped them. And he used it as a vehicle to get his message out, and he did a very good job. He had a lot of vintage Trump moments, but he was still, I guess you would say, a little bit more measured, which honestly, some people will say it's lower energy, but he still got all the zingers in there. I think it was a very, very good thing, and this is a Trump that can go out there in 2024, and make no mistake, he can defeat Joe Biden. It's not going to be easy. We can't underestimate our opposition, but this nomination, it proved that he's still the guy. And Ron DeSantis is somebody who doesn't go to unfriendly media for a reason. He does come off like a robotic politician at times, and as a result, I don't necessarily believe that if he does announce his run and he goes out there and starts speaking and people actually get acquainted with him, I think if anything, he's not going to see this post-announcement bump like so many people say. He's going to lose support. The only thing he has going for him is money and a lot of these establishment figures that are trying to draft him to run. But they're just delusional. They are. They think that they could go out there and beat Donald Trump. Trump's polling has skyrocketed. It is crazy how much it's skyrocketed, even in Florida and Texas. We'll get to Florida first, because this is Ron DeSantis' home state. He won it by 19 points in the 2022 midterms. He also is governor there. But still, according to multiple polls, not just one, but multiple polls, this is one of the more recent ones that got released. He is losing to Donald Trump in Florida by 28 percentage points in a head-to-head primary. That is absolutely brutal against somebody who supposedly, what they say, passed his prime or whatever. And DeSantis, it's his moment. Really? If it's his moment, why is he behind 28 points in his home state? Texas is a state that Trump lost in the 2016 primaries. It's technically more just like establishment Republican territory, at least in a lot of the primaries, or it was back in the day. But that's changed. That's not the case now. And DeSantis was beating Trump in Texas after the midterms. Trump took a lead in January, expanded it in March, and now he's up by 38 points. That is a 49-point swing for Donald Trump in the state of Texas. And yes, polls are not always that accurate. We know they can be flawed, but are they going to be off by 40 points? Absolutely not. Things can change, and they have been changing, but they've been changing in favor of Donald Trump, and Trump is going out there and he's manipulating the media again. They're freaking out like it's 2016, 2017 during his presidency. Oh, he said this. Oh, he said that. They're focusing on the things that don't exactly matter, and Trump is sitting back here and he's essentially laughing at them, and it's going to help him in a primary, and they know it. They know it. They are getting desperate. Their lines of attack are desperate, so much so to the point where they're saying, oh, it's over for Trump because he canceled a rally in Iowa because of a tornado watch. Like, they really think that Trump was going to go out there and host a rally. They took a picture like 12 hours before that was selectively taken to show just like a couple hundred people in line. And then the rally gets canceled because there's like a tornado watch in Iowa, and they say, oh, look, DeSantis was traveling the state all day, which was in the morning before the tornado watch took place. And what happened was the fact that Trump decided to cancel the rally. He didn't want people to stand in line and get hit by a tornado. You know, you saw people get frostbite in a Nebraska rally in October of 2020. They made a big deal out of it. The DeSantis people would be making a very big deal about it. And they're just delusional. It's petty. There's no path for Ron DeSantis. All it's going to do is divide the party. And it's dangerous because it's all built on a lie that, oh, DeSantis can beat Biden and Donald Trump can't. And even though you could maybe make a case for DeSantis being more electable in a state like Georgia or Arizona, Trump can win without those states. DeSantis is DOA when it comes to the Rust Belt, given his energy policies, his trade policies, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. You look how Republicans did there without Trump on the ballot in the midterms. It was a total turnout disaster. And Trump is that X factor candidate that can get those people to turn out. I'm not saying he's guaranteed victory, but can he win those states? Absolutely. But DeSantis, he's somebody who has less charisma and charm than the corpse that currently occupies 1600 Avenue right now, one could say. And you're bringing back the same strategy that Mitt Romney used in 2012. And regardless of whatever you think of DeSantis as governor of Florida, it's a lot easier to be governor of Florida than it is to be president of the United States. And when you get on that national level, it becomes a binary choice. And you also have to bring the energy and turn out voters. Many people in those states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, a lot of them didn't even know who DeSantis was probably a year ago. A lot of them still don't know. And to go out there and on such short notice, divide the party, then turn out those voters when you've created this rift with Trump, who is that guy that a lot of people in those states really have only turned out for, it's just a losing strategy altogether. And it's laughable. And you look at his campaign, it's being poorly run. These people are insufferable. They're attacking Trump with resist lib talking points. This is his super PAC that is trying to draft him to run. Never Back Down is the name of it. And they go out there and they say, here's what Trump spent an hour talking about. And essentially they blame him for 1/6. They talk about 2020, use the same debunked left-wing talking points against him, say he's like guilty of sexual abuse, saying, oh, he's defending the Access Hollywood tape. See, these people are no different than the resist libs. They are no different except they claim to be conservatives, and a lot of these people opposed Trump in the 2016 primaries. You had the Cruz crew, and they eventually bent the knee. We are seeing this unfold yet again, and we're going to watch what happens, but you look at what's going on in a lot of these polls. You look at Iowa, because they say, oh, well, the national polls don't matter, because they keep losing in the national polls. Then look at the state polls. The first primary, or caucus, takes place in Iowa. He has led every single poll by a significant margin in Iowa, going all the way back to late November or right after the midterms. And we haven't seen a lot of polls conducted there, but you look at the nationwide polls, it is absolutely brutal. He's there in the mid-50s. DeSantis is down there in the low 20s. And there has not been a time in history where somebody was polling for the nomination at or above 50% for president in the aggregate and lost the nomination. Not even Hillary in 2008, when she was seen as the clear favorite, ended up polling that high. And we see Donald Trump and a lot of these pollsters, which are not really that fond of him, he's up at 60, and then DeSantis in several of them is in the teens, and he's falling, and it's laughable. His campaign is crashing and burning before it's even begun, and Donald Trump, more likely than not, is going to be the Republican nominee. And we'll cover the primaries between now and when they actually take place. But he's the one that everybody should rally behind because there's no beating him in a primary. So we might as well get on board with Donald Trump. Even if you're not on board, you should get on board. Watch the town hall. He did a great job. Get on board, support the nominee, and hopefully we can have the greatest revenge tour of all time completed, because it can happen. Again, he's in the general election polls. He's defeating Joe Biden in the popular vote. And if you get a turnout operation out there, if you use the election system to our advantage, the way that Trump has said at pretty much every rally that he wants to do, and Donald Trump can stay on message, even if he's like on message just a little bit more than he is now, because this is primary messaging. Of course, you do more of the base appeal. Then you go and you get those undecided voters in a general election without, caving too much, obviously. We know that. 2016, he was great down the stretch, was perfectly on message. And if he could do that, yet again, compare and contrast his administration with the Biden administration, yes, there is a very good chance that Donald Trump not only could be the 45th, but also the 47th president of the United States. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.